after All-Star, it's different levels of getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a sprint now. It's not a marathon no more.
Yeah.
So as a player, there's certain requirements to get ready, like for your performance. What are coaches doing to get prepared? Like when you're looking at rotation, like
They tightening their rotation.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
You go into All-Star break beforehand, you really just, mapping out your team. You're trying to figure out who deserves to play, right? This is your audition for the winning time.
Yes.
Throughout the regular season. And it gets tighter and tighter and tighter as you get closer to winning time, and that's playoffs. Mm-hmm. And so now, if I'm an organization that is focused on winning and making this playoff run, I got to tighten up my rotation. Mm-hmm. And so that 9th and that 10th man probably not going to be in my rotation. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting ready for what my playoff rotation may be. I'm going to play 8 to see who can play. Now the playoffs, I may only play 6 or 7, right? But I'm taking my rotation down to 8, 9 max, right? And so now your mistakes is going to be a little bit more magnified.
Yeah.
Right? So you're coming back from All-Star break, you're getting tighter. And so you can't come back from All-Star break off vacation like you just came back off vacation.
Right.
Because if I'm an organization that's trying to win and trying to make this push to the playoffs, I'm playing my best and who's ready for this time. And so if I'm a coach, I'm really looking at you how you treated this break.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys who come back and they tanned up. You like he was on a golf course the whole time. He wasn't doing nothing. He got a good time. And there's some guys who come back and they're in incredible shape.
They are.
They're in amazing shape. And you're trying to get your win back because you've been off for a week. And so that shows you a lot as a coach. That will show me a lot about who's serious about what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do versus who's just happy to be here.
Yeah.
What about as a coach, you've utilized your playbook, right? In the playbook, you got different options, you got different things. How do you tailor your playbook to fit that personnel? Because when I watch teams, sometimes I see the strategy, but the strategy don't fit the personnel. So you don't get the most out of your players. As a coach, if you was a coach, what would you do at this point?
Well, now that I have a whole analytic team, I'm going to go tap in with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what guys play the best at certain times. And then I'm going to have a few sets that I know to get the ball moving, to get it side to side. I'm going to have a few sets that get the ball in my best player hand so he can make plays. And you just tailor that to, 5, 6 plays. Encourage your guys to score in transition. Encourage your guys to make the paint collapse and find shooters. That's kind of how I coach. When I am coaching, we want to play with pace, right? And then I want to have some sets where I know I can get the ball side to side when the ball is getting stagnant. So I feel like when you go into that second half of the season, you got to be locked in with 5 or 6 plays that's going to work and your team is going to execute every single time.
I love that because I love watching. I watch the coach. Like in the timeout, I watch the coach in the last 5 minutes, few minutes of the game, and I watch his ATOs. Mm-hmm. I like tight games. Then I like to see if he comes back to that ATO in another situation or scenario.
Yes.
Then if he does, I like to watch the really smart players that recognize play recognition to see if they can identify it. Because if they can see it, I watched the player yesterday, he's seen it. Hey.
Yeah.
And was this in the fourth quarter? He saw it and then he called it up.
It was LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
He called it. It ain't many. He switched him and somebody else.
Yeah.
Because they were going to screen anyway, and he just switched right back.
Okay, but you know that was not the first time they ran that play in that game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True.
Right? So if a team going to run side out of bounds throughout the game, normally they're going to run what they're going to run in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your job to educate yourself, be like, okay, what are they running? They're not running nothing they're not going to run. They're running something to see how you're going to act, how you're going to respond very early. So I'm clocking, this is the ATO they running right now in the second quarter or out of this timeout. When coach called a timeout and he drew a play up, this is a very important ATO. They're coming back to that in the fourth.
Yeah, no doubt.
Question,
Out of timeout.
Okay, so rec league, when you say ATO, I'm like, We don't have ATOs. We don't have ATOs in Rec League. I'm sorry. I'm like, ATO, what the fuck are they talking about? I'm like, is it out of timeout? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is that timeout? ATO. I'm like, the fuck?
I used to struggle with on the board.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, ATO.
B.O.B., you know what B.O.B.
I was
is?
just about to say, that's what I struggle
That's my
with.
name.
But do you know anything besides your name?
Yeah.
Bring your own beer?
No.
Baseline out of bounds.
Baseline out of bounds.
Yes.
Your name is B.O.B.
That is hilarious.
Baseline out of bounds.
Baseline out of bounds.
I struggled with them terminologies early in my career.
Okay, good.
too.
All right, good. As you were saying.
You know when you think about baseline out of bounds and side out of bounds, depending on where the referee placed the ball is a different call. See, I'm watching the coach like that.
Yeah.
So, because if you placing the ball free throw line extended, side out of bounds, there's a different play call than in the corner, counter corner.
The low corner. Yeah, buddy.
One of the hardest places to inbound the ball.
Get your options are limited.
Your options
Your
change.
your outlets become limited when that ball is placed down there by that baseline versus when that ball is placed by that free throw line.
So when normal people are watching the game, I'm looking at the game at that. I watched a play call yesterday. I was watching a college game, Florida Atlantic to be exact, against Wichita State. They ran an elevator screen. It's baseline out of bounds.
He's playing the elevator screen. Don't Bob is here.
I'm literally thinking about like an elevator, but go ahead.
So elevator screen is when you get a double.
I have seen that.
Now that double can be inverted. It can be in different types of ways. But if it's free throw line extended, these two were standing there, and now this guy's running through the elevator.
You might see Steph Curry run a lot of elevators.
A lot of those.
I have seen
They had
those.
another guy. The elevator guy was at the elbow. The other guy was deep opposite corner. They ran the elevator screen, got everybody looking there. That guy back cut him and they threw it right in. Boop, layup. Because they misdirection everything.
Right.
So when I'm watching the game and I'm thinking about getting ready for playoffs, I'm wondering, is the coaches preparing? We watch the players get prepared.
Right.
And we hold players
Of course.
accountable
Of course.
for missing shots that are part of the game. But the accountability for the coaches, where is
You ain't
that?
coaching, coach. A lot of coaches ain't coaching.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of coaches ain't coaching.
All you gotta do is watch the timeout. When you watch the timeout and the players are not engaged, that means that the teacher is not practicing for the finals.
Got it.
When he sits down and a guy over there drinking and he's looking around and he ain't paying attention to the board or what's going on, he haven't engaged that group.